This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And this is the official start of CMA Fest 2024. Feels like we've been at it for a month already.
Yeah.
But it's officially starting today through Sunday here in America's Music City. And if ever there was a week, maybe CMA Week rivals it in popularity for fans all over the world that come here. This is it, CMA Fest 2024. And in the big middle of it, Kelly Sutton, you will be there. Charlie Mattos is here. Annie and I, our studio director, Jeff Roberts. He's in master control at the Grand Ole Opry House. And Annie's mama, Claudia, in New Jersey's got a birthday today on the 6th, a very famous day in history.
Oh, yeah.
D-Day, of course, but it is the 6th of June and Claudia's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday. Oh, that's so sweet. And you didn't say how old she is, and that's exactly right.
She's
Good job.
my age.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. It was funny because when I said, Annie, how old's your mom? She's like, I don't even know. And I said, oh, I love that for you. And I love that for her because Reese doesn't know how old I am. And I lie to her repeatedly. I still don't really know how old my mom is. She would even change her birthday. She would tell me a different year because she didn't want anyone to know. She just kept us guessing. It was like a chess game with her. So it's anybody's guess. And I love that.
The key is to lie early.
Sure.
Just start shaving at like 26. Just say you're 23, and then at that point, you just kind of...
I do remember my mom was 40 many years in a row. I don't remember how many, but just many. I would say, how old are you? And she's like 40. And I'm like, okay. I mean, when you're a kid, you don't know. Ish. So it's fine. Happy birthday. Yeah, it's good stuff. Hey, let's talk about all the things that are making entertainment news for us this morning, and there's a lot. We have a new Thomas Rhett album that's on the way. We're going to talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. Lots of Jelly Roll news. Number one, he and Bunny trying to conceive. We're going to tell you about that. Why he isn't touring overseas, and a brand new collaboration that just dropped in time for National Donut Day.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Boys, cut your mother some slack. She didn't get in until midnight last night. Come on. Britney Kellogg just sat down on Coffee, Country, and Cody on her way to the Ryman BMI Block Party Saturday. And Charlie Mattos, tell us what's going on down there since you're going to be large and in charge on the PNC Plaza.
Oh, it's free music starting today. There's block parties at the Ryman today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. Saturday is noon to 5, and Britney will be there. Struggle Jennings, who just made his Opry debut, will be there. Miko Marks. So it's going to be a great lineup. A lot of fun. Come hang out. It's free.
And noon on Saturday, I'll be inside Opry Country Classics. Larry Gatlin will be hosting.
In the air conditioner?
Radney Foster's on the lineup. He came to see us the other day, and I missed him, so I'm excited to see him. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
It's great to have you. You were just here, and then what a commuter you are. From Arizona to Nashville, back to Arizona, back to Nashville for this BMI opportunity.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy traveling all the time, but when you're a mama, you got to make things happen, you know?
So explain, when I said that you were just here, you were here for the Inspirational Country Music Awards, right?
I was, yeah. It was really amazing. It's nice to, meet a different group of people that are doing good things in country music. It's pretty great.
And you got to tell the story of our former colleague, Megan Alexander, and how far back you two go.
Oh my gosh. So I've known her since I was 8 years old. We did pageants together. And I don't know if you know, she's a singer.
Yes.
There's videos of her singing to me, holding my hand when I was just a tiny little thing. So we go way back.
That's so funny.
So funny.
So did that kind of spark your love of performing, being in pageants, or was it the other way around? You wanted to perform and that was a stage?
Yeah. So when I was 6, I got to see Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash together in Portland, Oregon, and it was life-changing for me. I looked at my grandma who took me and said, that's what I want to do. And I immediately started fighting for my dream, and then pageants was kind of just an easy step for being on stage. The talent competition was really helpful for me, learning how to have poise and sing to the judges and have stage presence, and it was a huge part of my growth as an artist.
And are you an instrumentalist as well?
I play guitar.
Okay.
So very lightly.
She's like,
I know the feeling when people say I play guitar. in a town full of the greatest guitar players in the world.
Yeah, that's why I say that. I'm always like,
well, and it's funny. My husband said that once. We were just in mixed company. We were hanging out, and he's like, "Oh, I play guitar." And the follow-up question was, "For who?"
Right. Yeah.
And you're like,
Myself.
"Oh, no.
For my living room, my dog.
Yeah. When somebody says I play guitar, for who is usually what follows the question. So I get it.
yeah.
So I'm a little jealous. I never got to see Johnny and June. So I'm curious, even at 6, was there just something about their chemistry that was mesmerizing?
It was magic.
Yeah.
Like I can't even describe it. It was one of those moments in life where you remember every single thing about the event, like the smell in the room. I can literally smell it, the weather outside, what they were wearing. It was just, and then their chemistry, their interaction was absolutely incredible. Yeah, life-changing for me, for sure.
He was the only artist I've ever seen who sneezed in the middle of a song.
Oh.
Okay.
I saw them in Orlando, and he was singing his heart out, and right in the middle of a song, just the biggest sneeze ever, and he kept right on going, which was the pro that he was.
Sure.
But I thought, prior, or since, I have never seen an artist sneeze on stage before.
That is so funny. I wonder,
weird takeaway?
It is weird because you think about it and you're like, a sneeze could come on at any moment, you know?
I was always told that you would never sneeze when you were on live. That there's something in your body that will just prohibit that
Well,
from
he did that
happening.
night.
Wow. That's
really-
crazy.
yeah, that is
Well,
crazy.
Kelly taught me a great trick, though, because I was getting ready to sneeze as I was starting a sportscast. You look at the light. So if you look at the bright light,
Yeah, it'll stop it.
make the sneeze
It'll
go away.
stop it.
Now, then you can't see what you're reading, but you're not going to
Sure.
sneeze during it, though. So it's kind of pick your poison.
That was a TV trick whenever
Okay.
doing anchoring the news. They said if you ever feel like you're going to sneeze, just look at one of the lights and it'll stop it.
But in the sun, you sneeze.
Yeah,
So is the
sometimes.
sun different than a bright light?
I don't know.
I mean,
I have
that's
no idea.
some deep.
Yeah, we're going into some physiological questions.
No, because Johnny Cash sneezed one night.
Oh, yes.
Come on in there,
You're
June.
really good.
So, Brittany, take us back. Growing up, Washington was home for your early life? You were
Washington State.
Washington State.
Yeah, basically Portland, Oregon. So I could see Portland from where I lived. Born and raised, and then moved to Arizona about a year ago.
And you're just north of Phoenix, the
Yes.
Phoenix metropolitan
Yep.
area there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did freelance stuff for Vanderbilt for about 30 years. I did the women's basketball. And one of our best players in the history of the program was from Vancouver, Washington. Chantel Anderson was her
Yes.
name. And so we always try and play a game in the person's home state. And her home game was at Portland State. And I'm like, it's not even the same state. And she goes, you don't understand how
I know,
close it
it's
is to
the
Portland.
same.
It's really close. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
But,
Do you know what high school she went to?
I can find out real quick. But
Okay.
so.
I wonder. My high school was really, really big in basketball.
Oh, it's probably that one.
So,
That yeah.
yeah.
Well, she was like 6'7". So
Wow,
yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah. So
It's very tall.
And
Crazy.
you're going back to Portland for an album release show
I
later in the
am,
month, like on
yes.
the 29th. I saw
on the
your
29th. I will be
itinerary.
here. I'm playing an album release show at Old Red on the 27th. And then I fly home the 28th to get my daughter. And then we go back to Portland for my album release. Yeah.
Well, we were
It's
just
crazy.
talking about the kiddos and their ages and what you've been going through. Do any of them kind of exhibit the gene that they want to sing, they want to perform?
My daughter is a performer, but she's at the age where everything is a dream right now. Like she
Okay.
wants to play baseball when she grows up. And
Yeah.
she missed like her last full week of baseball because she had like the flu or something. And she was like, "That's my dream and I'm missing." And it was like T-ball, you know? Like, so, but
Little
she's,
drama there.
She's lots of drama.
Have you put her in theater yet?
No, I need
Okay,
to.
well.
I need to.
I have lots of notes if you need them.
I
so.
love it. No, she knows every word to every country song, and she's loves to sing. So I wouldn't be surprised.
So, what are the ages of your kiddos?
6, 14, and 16.
Oh, you're on the family plan, all right. Yes, you are.
Yeah, it's heavy right now. It's a lot.
And what are the boys interested in?
So my 14-year-old is a huge Swiftie. Huge.
Oh, no kidding.
Swiftie.
good for
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
As am I.
He-
I could not get verified to buy tickets, however.
He is. We are going in October to New Orleans.
No, that's the show I want to
It
see.
was the most
Yes.
stressful, like 8 hours of my life because he went to school and he gave me this task to get tickets. And I was like, if I don't get tickets, like if I don't do something right, I'm like, so I was like watching YouTube tutorials on like how to get, it was nuts, but we got tickets.
I
Good for
keep
you.
checking the prices for the Sunday night show because I think
That's
that's
when
gonna.
we're going.
Well, I'm thinking that might be the cheapest
Yeah.
one because it's Sunday, but
Yeah.
it's not yet. So.
No, I told my son, I was like, I'll give you 20%. of the ticket sales, because we could sell our tickets for a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Like right
Yeah.
now, the seats where you can't see anything are going for $1,300.
Yes.
So the seats where you actually can see something are like $3,000 a piece.
It's so crazy.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So is your
Crazy.
16-year-old driving?
No. So my 16-year-old is on the spectrum and has epilepsy. So
Oh.
no driving for him right now. But he is very obsessed with like anything that moves. So if you see an airplane in the sky, he will tell you what kind of airplane, what year it was made, what kind of engine. Like, it's really fascinating.
Oh, wow.
And then Legos are his thing. I have a song called King of Legoland that I wrote for him that's just talks about kids that are different and a little more unique.
You need to get him this water bottle.
I do.
The Lego water bottle.
That's so awesome. That is so cool.
I also saw where you had a video that included both your mom and your daughter.
Yeah, my song She's Come a Long Way had both my mom and my daughter in it. I really wanted to...
Did your daughter dig being a star?
Oh, she
a video
thought it
star?
was absolutely amazing.
I'm a
yeah.
movie star.
Yeah,
I'll be
and she's
treated
in
as
my
such.
song Hey Mama singing in that. And that was super fun to have her a part of. I try to include my kids' family anytime I can.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Britney Kellogg in studio this morning on her way to the Ryman BMI Block Party. That's on Saturday afternoon. And she just played the Inspirational Country Music Awards last week at the Grand Ole Opry House. So Autumn McIntyre's name came up a little bit. You mentioned a co-write and a friendship, obviously, as well. Explain who Autumn is in your life and the connection to Reba.
Yeah, so I met Autumn through just a personal connection to write a song, and it's actually my biggest song. It's called Back of My Mind. And she didn't mention who she was related to, which actually has become one of my favorite things about her. I feel like that's such a cool, you meet so many name droppers that.
But you found it in a social media post
she
or something.
posted like, "Oh, my Aunt Reba," and I was like, "Wait, what?" So I texted her and I'm like, "You literally did not tell me you're Reba's niece. Like, Reba is the first cassette tape I ever owned. Like, one of my biggest inspirations." She was like, it's not really. I'm like, it's something. It's huge. That's insane. So crazy. But I think it says a lot about her character that she doesn't go around saying that. And we have written a ton of songs together. This Mess and She's Come a Long Way are both co-writes with her, and she's actually co-produced my album. So she's amazing. Such a great friend. I've become good friends with her and her husband. Her husband's tour manager for Luke Bryan. And they're just really great people.
Oh, that's, it is really cool when you find the right people to write with, but it has to be scary. And I don't know that any of us have ever walked into a writing room, but I liken it to like a first date.
It totally is. Yeah, it really, really is. You have to, I'm a very emotional writer too. And actually that day when we wrote, I had just gotten a text that ended up being the reason we wrote the song. But I was super annoyed and frustrated about this text that I got. And, it's like you meet someone, you're like, hey, this text, blah, blah, blah. And you just go right into spilling out your whole life, to this person you've never met who ends up being Reba's niece. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm glad I didn't know that though. I think I would have been way more nervous.
Sure.
And reserved too, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I was just 100% myself. And now, and I was very intimidated by her even when I didn't know she was Reba's niece. She just has this very poised presence, and she's so talented.
Do you share motherhood in common?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah. She has kiddos as well, which is kind of where this mess came from. She gets it, being a writer, and her husband's on the road a lot with Luke. So we definitely have a lot in common.
I read something in People magazine, quoting you here. Seeing that being a mom doesn't mean you have to give up on your dreams. What did J-Lo say to you back in your American Idol run in both seasons 11 and 12?
That whole part of the show was really life-changing for me. I went into American Idol being told specifically by someone in my life that I should not be pursuing my dreams. I should be focusing on the kids. I was a single mom at the time, and so I specifically said to J-Lo, how do you do it? What do you do as a single mom? She was going through her divorce with Mark Anthony at the time. And she told me, they're better for it. You don't give up. You keep going. She said her mom was backstage with the kids, and your dreams don't stop because you have kids. And that has been, since that moment, it's been so substantial for me. I love that my kids get to see me fight for my dreams. And yes, it's hard when I have to leave, but they get to see what it looks like to work hard for something you love so much. And I think it says a lot.
What was your journey to Idol? How did it all come down with your
I tried
audition?
out so many times. Oh my God. I think people don't realize that you actually have to go through, well, you used to. I think it's very different now with social media, but back in the old days, you would go to a stadium with thousands of people, and it was the cattle call basically. So you would line up and you would sing in front of a producer, and they would give you 5 to 10 seconds. And they would say yes or no. And it took me the 4th time I finally got a yes after the first audition. And I mean, I even tried out 8 months pregnant with my second child. And they basically said, like, we'd love to have you, but we think you're going to be, I didn't realize the process. And they're like, it's not like you don't go to the celebrities today. And I'm like,
the show may have its first live birth.
Literally. They're like, it's not going to work out. But I made it past the first round. And that was in my hometown of Portland. And then that was the first season I was on. And it was honestly like one of the best experiences of my life.
So how did doing that first one help you when you got to season 12?
Yeah. I just really learned, like, it's very political. And of course, everything is political, but it's definitely very like story driven, and it depends on, like, they're looking for so many country singers, they're looking for so many females. This person has a really amazing story. This person's going to tug on the heartstrings. Like, it's very, they know what they're doing. So when going into season 12, I just knew that it was like, you can't really choose what, can't do anything different. You just be who you are. And that season was wild. That was like the Nicki Minaj, Mariah Carey. Oh man, that was something to see. That was really crazy. And Keith Urban was there too, and you could just tell he was like, "This is nuts." Like, he just looking around like, "This is crazy.
These girls are crazy."
They literally, it was wild. It was.
You need to write all that down somewhere.
I
Make
know.
sure you have that for later.
It's pretty crazy.
Later on in the book.
Oh gosh,
when you put that out,
just to watch it, it was like, wow, so crazy.
What was your takeaway? Because I think that for so many people, they go on that show and they have hopes that it's going to make them into a star. But I think now the realization for most people is it is a beautiful place as a launching pad.
Yeah.
But the work has to be done before you even get there. And then there's so much work on the back end.
Yeah. I think American Idol is different than The Voice in that, like, American Idol, I think, is looking for people to start, kind of like what they did with Carrie Underwood. And she was this small town girl, and they made her into a star. And really, like, truly, they made her. They, gave her that stepping stone, but of course, like, she's done the work. But I think The Voice is looking for people that are already kind of there and ready to go into stardom. So I think for me, it really was exactly that. It was just like, I got the exposure. It was really good for me to be told no, and to be told that, like, you're not as good as these other 40 plus people. They actually, my first season, told me that I made it into the top 40. And then we went backstage and we were all celebrating, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to the live show. And then they took us backstage and all of our stuff was gone. And we're like, what's going on? So, like, no phones, nothing to, like, contact anybody. And then they brought us back on stage and they cut 9 of us. And I was one of the ones they cut. So it was like the highest of highs. Like, I made it to the live show, to, like, no, you didn't. You're going home. It was like the worst. It was the worst. And then I ordered an entire pizza and a bottle of wine and drank my sorrows away.
Good for
you.
you.
It was a great experience. Truly, like, such an incredible experience to kind of learn the business a little bit.
I just thought of a great song title. Cab and carbs. You get a bottle of red and a big old pizza.
Call Scotty McCurry. He'll co-write
Cab and a solo.
Yeah. I know that motherhood has been a theme throughout this conversation.
Yeah.
Tell me about your mom before we close and play. She's come a long way.
Yeah. My mom was a single mama growing up.
3 kids?
3 kids. Yep. And she wasn't, my grandmother and I were super, super close because my mom was working all the time and she wasn't able to be super present as a mom because she had to pay the bills. And I really didn't see it until much later in life that, all I could focus on growing up was that she wasn't there. Instead of really understanding the why, and that she was really doing it to be a great mom and to take care of us and give us the life, pay for the pageants and the singing lessons. And there were times when I would weed my singing teacher's yard because my mom couldn't afford lessons that week. And it was just like, it's inspiring to see, now being a mom, to really realize how much she did and still does to this day. We're so close. She's one of my very best friends, and I'm just really proud of how far she's come too. And it's been great to, grow as a mom and really understand like the hard work that it took.
And in addition to your daughter, you cast your mom in the video as well, did you not?
She was like, "Are you serious?" She did not want to do it at first.
I was going to ask what her response was.
She was like, "No, really?" But it turned out really beautiful.
If you have Paramount Plus, I urge you to watch the Willie Nelson documentary, the series. It's phenomenal. So well done.
Okay.
Yeah. Really,
I still haven't seen that one.
It's really well done. Yeah. And I've heard the Lainey Wilson one is phenomenal too.
I've heard that one was
Annie
great.
watched it the other day. And
Annie
was like,
said it was awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I started watching the Bon Jovi documentary. Have you watched that?
I have not. Oh, Renee did. Oh, Renee loved it too. Yeah.
Aren't you going to be with him in town sometime?
I'm hoping.
Fingers crossed?
Hoping. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Your lips to God's ears. I'm hoping to get a hold of Bon Jovi while he's here. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Paul okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I mean, there are certain things that,
It's always good when the husband is like, go ahead.
Heck, I'd want to talk to him. Can I come with you? I just want a fanboy.
Our 25th anniversary was yesterday. He's like, whatever.
You've been having trouble getting verified here lately,
Oh,
Charlie.
Lord, yeah. People won't even take my money. That's how bad I am. Here's my money. No, we don't want it.
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Do you have a verification? No? All right. Well, we are getting new music from Thomas Rhett. Big announcement. Very excited about this. His 7th studio album is on the way. That's going to be dropping in August. It's called About a Woman, and we are very happy that we're getting new stuff from TR. He said, from top to bottom, I wanted to exude joy and fun with this project and really just make people move. I went into making this record with a fearless attitude, put my blinders on and my head down to try to make really fun music. The album's main inspiration, you guessed it, his beautiful wife, Lauren. They've been married 11 years now. That seems kind of crazy. So congratulations.
And they were high
New
school
music on the
way.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good-looking family. Their family photos are all
stunning,
fun.
all of them. And I just love the fact that he is, he's a girl dad through and through. Like, I guarantee if I asked him, could you braid my hair, he could. That is a sign of a really good girl dad. If you can do a braid or a ponytail without getting the bumps in, then you got it down. Okay, speaking of babies, Jelly Roll and Bunny would like to have a baby. They are working on it. They're going through IVF. Now, Jelly has 2 children from previous relationships, Bailey and Noah, but he and Bunny XO are apparently working to have a baby together. He said, my wife and I were talking about having a baby. It really made me realize at almost 40, I was like, I got to live to at least 60 so I could see this kid get into college. So I got to start taking better care of myself. So that's part of the reason that he's been on this big health kick. They are doing IVF. They've been meeting with doctors. And Bunny wrote, God willing, baby DeFord in 2026. Of course, his real name is Jason DeFord.
I just thought of how old I need to be to see Jackson through college. That's not a very good thought right now.
You want me to pull up your insurance actuarial?
Oh,
I'll make it. I'll make it. They say 76. I only got to be 74 to get Jackson through 4 years of school. I'll make it.
That's good.
That may be the last thing I do, but I'll make it.
A life insurance guy once in the conversation said, now, I don't know how long you're going to live, but I'll tell you when you're going to die. It's right here on this little piece of paper.
Oh, no. Really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is so scary. What's the word I'm looking for?
Accurate?
It's so accurate, it's scary.
That's terrifying.
Well, they're in business to make money, so they got to know what they're talking about.
I never want to know that. But also,
would you not want to know the day you die?
No.
But would you live so differently if you knew?
No.
I don't think I want to know either, but it's an interesting question.
No, I would never. Would you want to know if you knew? Like, no, nobody wants to know that, right?
I think so.
Because then that's all you would dwell on. I think. I mean, that would, I got enough stuff to worry about to know that, hey, this is looming and it's coming. You know the date? No, thank you. It's bad enough knowing when, a car payment's due or something. Could you imagine? That's a lot of pressure. Okay, speaking of jelly, just want to let you know, if you are a fan of donuts, tomorrow is your day. It's International Donut Day tomorrow. Congratulations to all who celebrate, including Jelly Roll, who just dropped a new collaboration with Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, we saw this one coming, right? This was going to be a no-brainer.
Donut of my people. Yeah.
I'm just saying. He has said that his kryptonite when he was younger was donuts. So he said, everybody asks me how I got the name Jelly Roll. Believe it or not, truth is, it's because of these little guys right here. He says, opening up a box of Dunkin' Donuts. They are now putting out a line of merch. If you're watching us right now, you can see the sweatshirt. It says jelly, but it's in the Dunkin' Donut font.
Yeah, and their color. They're big on the pink. The pink is part of their color scheme.
I love it.
Yeah.
I would absolutely wear that out in public.
And we want to thank T. Graham Brown for a dozen glazed yesterday.
Thank you, T. Graham.
Thank you. He also sent us autographed induction night posters.
Which was amazing. We love
along
that.
with the donuts.
That was really, really special. Okay, one more thing about our boy Jelly Roll. If he hasn't come to your country, if you're listening to us overseas, it isn't anything personal. It's his felonies. He's actually getting a passport, and he said, we're working on it because I really would like to tour overseas. However, been in jail a couple too many times.
40, I think you said.
40 times.
Yeah.
He was incarcerated.
I was drunk the day my mom got out of prison. And I went to pick her up in the rain.
Okay, so this is a really cool interview that he did with John Bon Jovi. It was for Interview Magazine, and he said, you know what? I was in jail 40 times. He was actually in prison, big jail, for a year and was on probation for 7 years. So those are the ones that are kind of putting a hitch in his giddy up, but he is getting a passport. So he said, we hope to get it all worked out, and hopefully he'll be touring very soon. Okay, one more little tidbit that I got to throw out there for you. Kelsey Ballerini, y'all, she's going to be on The Voice.
How about that?
This is pretty cool. She is now going to be one of the coaches on The Voice, and she has done every step of the way. She was like one of the mentors that they brought in, and then she was a super special guest and did some collaborations. So she's been to The Voice a number of times. She filled in a couple times on The Voice, and now she has been named next season's coach, along with Adam Levine, John Legend, Michael Bublé. They are all going to be there together.
I saw where Dan and Shay wanted to do it again, but their tour schedule prevented them to be, because it's quite a commitment.
It really
we
is.
know through watching Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
Through the years.
And this is the first time Adam Levine has been back in years. When he stepped away from The Voice, it was a big deal because he was one of the founders along with Blake. So the fact that he's coming back, very interesting.
What were the first four?
I'm sorry?
What were the first four? CeeLo was one, but I can't think of the fourth.
CeeLo.
Christina Aguilera?
Yes, I think you're right.
I mean, it was Blake, Adam,
Blake,
CeeLo, and
I think it was Christina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Not Shakira?
No.
Because she did it too.
She came along later.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
I think you're right. Well, congratulations, Kelsey.
Hey, you're on Coffee Country and Cody. Kelly Sutton Entertainment, WSM Radio, all our Circle streaming platforms. You can link or just watch at circlecountry.com, and you'll meet Shaylen in the next hour. CMA Fest bound, Ascend Amphitheater tomorrow night, and then on Saturday, I love the stage name, the Good Molecules Reverb Stage on Saturday of CMA Fest, which, believe it or not, with all that's gone on Monday through Wednesday, today, Thursday, is the official start of CMA Fest 2024.
This is Coffee Country and Cody.
On her way to Ascend Amphitheater tomorrow night, and what a lineup. We'll run the full lineup here in a second for CMA Fest 2024. Shaylen, welcome to Coffee Country and Cody.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
And I want to quote you from social media, specifically Facebook. Let me...
You're nervous,
Can't
I can
comprehend seeing my name on Billboard. Thank y'all so freaking much for such a cool write-up. Means more than you'll ever know. And thank you to the 96 cicadas attacking me this week and bringing me back to reality. Did you say this?
I did. That is, I was like, what quote are you about to read? Because I never know. Sometimes if you watch my stories on Instagram, it could get a little crazy. So I'm so glad that one is fine. Because the 96 cicadas, they've just disappeared, which is weird. It's like they were everywhere and now they're nowhere.
Well,
I
they're
don't
waiting
like it.
for us, I'm sure.
I don't
somewhere.
like it. There's something weird, a concept of 13 years in the ground and then just out. And then I literally got smacked in the eye and it squealed. And I was like, ah! Like,
Yeah, that little buzz thing.
and their eyes are orange. I was like, you are satanic. So I didn't like it. But yes, I got attacked.
And I read there are like some variety is blue-eyed rather than
yes,
red-eyed.
there was a crossbreed for the first time. I don't even know how long, but one of them was 17 years in the ground, one was 13, and then they came up at once. And I was like, if this is close to what a plague would feel like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
My wife was at Publix picking up our son's birthday cake in the bakery and realized she had one in her hair.
And dropped the cake?
We now shop at a different Publix. But
I would have thrown the cake.
I'm sure the security video is being shown at parties.
I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
I like when they like nesty looking things, and my hair most days looks like a nest. So I feel as if I was personally attacked by them, and I didn't like it.
Well, at Ascend, you are joined by Brett Young,
Yes.
Need to Breathe, Restless Road, Colby Calais, Gavin DeGraw, Charles Kelly of Lady A, Grand Ole Opry member, Danae Hayes, Lily Rose at your Ascend coming out.
It's wild. It's wild. I don't even know how. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then I looked and I was like, oh my God, like I get to go up there with them. That's really cool. Because last year I was so stoked. I literally submitted myself for CMAs. Like you could go online and like put in your info and see if you could get a stage. And I got the spotlight stage, which was super cool. But like I was like, I want to be a reverb. I want to do these big these shows with the friends. And then all of a sudden, like a year later, I'm like, wait a second. I can do reverb, and I'm doing Brett Young and Friends. Like, what's happening? So
all coming true.
I'm so excited.
Well, it is one of the cool things that the CMA Fest has done, like maybe even the last 10 years, is do so many stages and give so many artists a chance to get seen. And
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, and so many of them are free.
It's
great.
It's like Nashville's own little stagecoach.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Which
Speaking
you know
of which,
something about now.
I do now.
We were supposed to meet at Stagecoach.
I
I was
know.
just
I'm so
saying.
upset.
So I was backstage and we were doing interviews, and they said that they were going to bring her to us to do an interview, and then all kinds of craziness happened, and I'm not sure how it all went to heck in a handbasket, but I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
I know.
Stagecoach.
And that day, like, it was my last, we were coming out. I think I might have been on one brain cell if we talked. So it might have been good because there was every station I went to, they had me take shots.
Oh.
And let me tell you, for shows, I prep and I don't drink before for like 2 weeks. Like, I'm really weird about it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like I haven't drank for 2 weeks, but I got this. Like, by the last
don't got
interview
this.
was like trying to play beer pong with them, and I was like,
I don't got this.
I got it by like the 7th try, which is very bad. But it's fine.
Well,
it's
we
fine.
won't do that till 9:30.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So we'll give you 15 minutes.
We'll do
to
a
get
little
ready.
Baileys in the coffee.
Absolutely. We're ready.
We mentioned Ascend tomorrow night. Also Saturday, you referenced the reverb stage, the Good Molecules reverb stage on Saturday for Shaylen.
That sounds fun.
be
The
awesome.
Good molecules. So we were just talking about the people that are going to be on this stage with you. I mean, Colby Calais
I'm gonna pass away.
and Gavin
I'm
DeGraw.
gonna pass away.
What do you remember? Like, I distinctly remember listening to Colby Calais.
I mean, my first iPod I ever had, I would sit outside the window. It was Sugarland, Gavin DeGraw. I would live, I don't wanna be. And I would look out the window, and my mom was like, what are you doing? Like, I was in a full-on music video. It'd be raining, and I was like, I don't wanna. And then my first boyfriend, I was like, starts with my toe. And I was just like, soundtracks to my life.
Yes.
So to be up there next to them, I'd be like, I'm not going to tell you guys what I've done to your songs because it's mortifying. I think there's videos of my mom taking that I'm just like out looking out the window, just like, she'd be like, you're so dramatic, which I am. I'm drama.
Well, tell me about growing up. Your life started in Chattanooga.
It did.
So you're a Tennessee girl.
I'm a Tennessee
by birth.
girl. I
How long
am.
did you live here before Dallas?
Till about 6 or 7, and then we moved to Dallas, and that was kind of like I always came out of the womb knowing like my mom thought something was wrong. I wouldn't walk, I wouldn't talk, I would just go like meh, 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 like in song. It was really weird. So then all of a sudden I was like, I know when people are like, oh, I want to be a singer, and like it's a big dream, and then all of a sudden I was like, no, I actually really want to do this. Like, there's no other option. Which my parents, nobody's in the music industry, so they're like, okay, like, should we backup plan? I'm like, no.
So did you see someone live
What's
or on
crazy?
television?
My
or?
first time all I wanted to do was have a chance to sing the offering in church, and Miss June Frank, my pastor in Allen, Texas, she let me do Bringing in the Sheaves, and I, at the time, thinking back on it, was probably awful.
And
but
how old are you when you're singing
I was
Bringing
7.
in the Sheaves? Okay.
I was 7. So
You
I'm
know
looking-
Bringing in the Sheaves, Charlie?
I'm sad to say I thought it was Sheets the
So
first time I heard
bringing
it.
Go
the rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. Hey.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that.
Okay.
We just got a big organ that plays while they go collect all the money.
Okay. Okay.
Y'all go collect the money.
Collect the money.
I'm Catholic, if you haven't picked up on that yet. So that's we don't do that one. No. Now we like. You know any songs about Mary? You come sing them with us.
Yeah.
Mary, did you know?
Other than that one.
I had to do that one many of times.
That's the only one we know. Sorry.
Oh my God.
So I interrupted you and broke into bringing in the sheets because I'm a Baptist preacher's kid.
So there you go.
That
and I went to a bunch of Baptist churches because I was like, their music is nuts.
Yeah,
like the Baptist church gets down with it. So I was like, okay, cool, I could do that. So I get up and sing Bring In the Sheaves, and I'm looking out at everybody. And I'm like, it's just a tiny Methodist church in Allen, but I was like, I don't know what this feeling is. It's the closest to God I've ever felt, or whatever that is. I was like, I got to do this for forever, like forever. It was like the only place that tiny of age that I was like, this makes sense. I know exactly who I am. I'm like, you're 7, bro. Like, who are you? So that kick-started it. And then I would sing in church all the time, do church plays. Then I thought I wanted to do musical theater. So then I went into Plano Children's Theater. I was everything across the board from Annie to Mother Abbess and King and I, or Sound of Music. And then I had King and I did all these musical theaters. And then I got into a pop group when I was super young, and we were a Christian pop group that toured all over Texas. Well, a couple of years into that, we started shifting to just a pop group. And this lady she wrote a pilot, filmed it in the Fellowship of the Woodlands, and I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go. We'll come back a year later. I'm going into sophomore year at high school, and they're like, hey, the show got picked up by Stars Kids and Family here. We're gonna go film 26 episodes in Howell, Michigan. So I left high school, and I went and homeschooled the rest of high school, filmed a 26 episode television show, got picked up, and then all of a sudden Young Money Cash Money, which at the time they were starting to go into pop music. But looking back, if you know anything about that label, it didn't make sense for 5 young kids to be on it at all. I have like Birdman next to me with like Wayne and Drake and Nicki Minaj, and then there's 5 young children, and it was a weird time. So we did this whole album. We flew to Paris to work with Red One. Like the budget that was spent before the songs came out was absurd, because that's what they did. Yeah. And so all of a sudden, you can't break a pop album on mixtape.com or just put it up on LimeWire. Like, it has to have radio budget. There was none. There was none left. So we got shelved real quick. I was 17, turning 18, and I was like, we have to go out to LA. We have to get in their faces. Too young to go out there, but my parents were like, listen, the small chunk that we have for your college, like, here you go. And I was like, I'm not going to college. So I just went out to LA on my own, lived in 230 square feet for $1,100 a month. I had no kitchen, no nothing. And then I got shelved. So what that means is you sit there for a couple years and you don't put out music. My whole group went back to Texas. They live awesome lives. I stayed like a crazy person. For 3 years, I sat in that deal. And I was like, well, I got to really learn how to write music. So I learned how to write music, finally got out of it, got my first publishing deal, did a bunch of DJ features. Long story short, 10 years, signed a second pop deal 2018 with Republic, and then COVID happened, thought it was the worst thing ever, and then I realized I took a step back and I was like, I don't love this anymore, which is the first time I'd ever thought that. And then my manager now, who found me in Crossing after the probably a year and a half into COVID, was like, you should come to Nashville. Like, all you're doing is writing country melodies and everything. And I was like, well, that's how I started. That's what I always wanted to do. He's like, come out to Nashville. My old management was like, she's done as an artist. No one knows what to do with her. So she's just writing for people. And I was like, that's depressing, but okay. So I came out here. My first day, Elliot Tishinsky put me in with Lindsay Rhymes, Seth Ennis, and Phil Barton. And I wrote a song called What If I Don't? And I left the session, I cried. I was like, oh my God, like, I love doing this. This is like just exactly what I wanted to do, how I wanted to sound. And I went back and derailed my life. I asked to get off the label. They were awesome and let me go. I parted ways with my old management, and a year later, I put out What If I Don't independently and moved out here not knowing anyone. And now, a year and a half later, I'm here.
And we've got plenty of places that are 236 square feet for $1,100 a month.
Now you do. Now you do. Gas is not $10 a gallon, so we're good there.
We don't
We're
have
good
them on
there.
that.
And the icing on the cake, 28,857,496 people, at least only on Spotify, have listened to that. Never mind Amazon Music and Apple Music.
It's kind of a weird thing.
It's a win.
I was like, because before pop music, like I'd have a few, but it was definitely my mother, Peggy Sue, just streaming the songs. I was like, I would listen to where the location was, and it said Dallas, and I was like, yeah, it's my mom. So now when I look at it, I'm like, I don't think Peggy Sue's streaming it unless she has like 10,000 phones going at one time. So that is a weird, because it was the most vulnerable place. It was the saddest place I'd ever been. I thought I had to quit music. I thought that I didn't love it anymore, and I thought I was marrying somebody it was a disaster. And I wrote this, and I was like, this is terrifying to put out, but also like, okay, let's do it. And the crazy part is the way people come back with their own version of what it means to them, because majority of the people come back and it's like, this means so much to me because I lost my spouse and I don't know how to move on. And I was like, I wouldn't have even thought of it that way. Like, wouldn't have even. And then there's some weird ones too, like 20 people that have over the course of this time said like, my dog, I can't move on. And I'm like, that's crazy, but I get it. I don't know if I'd be kissing my dog, but but you know, I'm like, I do have him tatted on my arm, so I do feel the same about my dog. I'm like, what if you move on? What if I don't?
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
We got to hear the new single, Let Me Let You, from Shaylen, who is in studio with us this morning and on her way to Ascend Amphitheater tomorrow night and the Good Molecules Reverb stage on Saturday. And Tommy, her guitar player, you know from Guns N' Roses, obviously you can see the merch, is going to accompany her. What are you going to sing first for us this morning?
I thought I'd start with What If I Don't? You know, I'm gonna
How many did you say, Charlie, on Spotify alone?
Almost 28 million.
There you go.
It's weird. Weird. It freaks me out. I'm like, oh, okay.
The craziest is TikTok, though, where just like things go astronomical. Like, you go to bed and like 5 million people later.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's how it all started, because like I would post on TikTok for forever and I was like, no one cares. It's fine. I would do the most absurd things to make people care. Like I had like puppet fingers on at one point. I was like, what am I doing? Like, so I just sat one day when I finally decided, I was like, listen guys, I'm crossing over back to like what I know. I'm eating blueberries on the ground with a bucket hat, and I play the song and it just went, and I was like, what? Like, who knew eating blueberries? And now like people just like it in the car. Like I'll just play a song and I'm like, you know what? Whatever you want, I'll give it to you.
And to think that voice started singing Bringing in the Sheaves. Singing for the Methodists.
Singing for the
When
Methodists.
you were how old?
7.
Yeah. And now you're all grown up. What are you, 13, 14 now?
Yes. I wish.
That's Shaylen on Coffee, Country, and Cody this morning.
I wonder when they count the collection if they notice some performers do better and invite you back. Hey, we did. Let's come back, sing that again.
That little Shaylen girl up
we
here.
did really good that time.
I saw
last week.
an interview with you where they asked you, it was a written interview, and they asked you about your dream tour, and you said Carrie Underwood, Shania Twain, Morgan Wallen.
Yes.
You mean all at one time in one night?
If it was one night, I would also pass away. You would not see me. I wouldn't recover. That would be a heck of a concert.
That's quite a lineup, isn't it?
That'd be crazy.
But Ascend on Friday night. Tomorrow night, it is Brett Young, Need to Breathe, Restless Road, Colby Calais, Gavin DeGraw, Charles Kelly, Lady A, Grand Ole Opry star, Danae Hayes, Lily Rose, and Shaylen.
Oh, I didn't know Lily was there too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, gosh, I love her.
And Danae's hosting. She's kind of the host of the night. So, yeah.
That's going to be a great lineup. So if they do a group sing at the end,
We are definitely.
you're in it. Get right in front.
I literally, they had asked, and I was like, what?
Who do you want to stand by?
I
I
don't know.
know.
I'd be happy with any of them.
Right?
I'd be happy with any of them.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to do a cheer pyramid, and she's going to get at the top.
That would be bad for
Please
everyone.
do.
Somebody might, depending on if I fall, there could be lawsuits. Because it could be bad.
Get in between Gavin and Bear from Need to Breathe. That's where you need to be, right between those two. I'm just going to put that out there.
She's
What if
like, you better get in there. I'd be like, listen.
Get
She said I had to be there.
Get the elbows
Move.
out, girl. Get right in between those two.
Shaylen, it's been delightful to visit with you, get to know you a
Thank you
little
for
bit,
having me.
and send you on your way to Ascend tomorrow night for a big, big night in your career at
Thank
Ascend
you.
Amphitheater.
Thank you so much.
As well as the Reverb stage, the
gonna
Good
be
Molecules Reverb stage
Ooh,
on
yeah.
Saturday.
In between Bear and Gavin, don't forget.
And how is it that you were almost born Buffalo, Dallas?
It was Super Bowl. My dad, he was in the waiting room while my mother was giving birth. He came in and he was like, "I got it." And she just goes, "Get out, please. You're done. Get out."
No, sir.
And now they're not married anymore.
Hi to Peggy Sue, by the way, if you're watching or listening.
Hi to Peggy
Sue. Your girl's doing good things here at studio this morning. And we're back to wrap it up from the Magnolia Lobby studio of the Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center, the 6th of June, D-Day remembered. It is also Annie Nye, our studio director's mom's. That's Claudia's birthday today. Joe Stampley in country music, 81 years old. I just talked to an old friend of ours, a mutual friend, Jerry King, Country Radio Hall of Famer in San Antonio the other day, said that Mo and Joe are getting back together and doing some touring.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Couldn't believe it when I heard that. And Lisa Brokaw, 51. There's a name people will remember who talk about 90s country and all that was happening. Yeah, so.
See you tomorrow.
See ya.